If you're a business owner and you cut expenses as soon as things get tough, I want to show you why that is the worst idea ever. Hear me out, because I used to do it too. I used to cut expenses when things got tight. But if you understand that expenses actually should be generating your revenue, it will change your whole paradigm. It did when I learned this from my coaches, Lacey and Sean. I discovered that my expenses should actually be producing my revenue. Now think with this. If your expenses are producing your revenue, why would you cut them? Now hear me out. I used to think the same thing. We need to cut our expenses. Things are tough. Cut expenses, cut expenses. That is the biggest mistake because your expenses actually are what create your revenue. When you are generating revenue, things are great, right? So you've got the expenses and you don't correlate them this way. We think, well, I've got revenue, so now I can afford my expenses. But you need to reverse this. You have to have your expenses and correct expenditures to create your revenue. Now, once you get your revenue, what do you do with that revenue? It's not to create expenses, it's to create assets. Now you've got assets. What do those assets do? They generate expenses. That's the cycle you want to understand. Once you get that, everything changes. The key piece to understand here is that your number one asset is you. Your health, your well-being, your energy, your performance. And I have worked with countless business owners who are out there, high performing, high stress, and low recovery. And they are skimping and cutting their expenses to take care of their number one asset. You can't do this. In fact, you want to invest more in your number one asset. Go all in, investing and increasing your expenses to take care of your number one asset. My client came to me the first week. He increased his revenue by $30,000. That was over 3,000% return on investment in investing in his number one asset. This is something that you can do and should expect from creating and investing in your number one asset. If you want some help with this, book a call at stephanajohnson.com.